أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد لإيلاف قريش إيلافهم رحلة الشتاء والصيف فليعبدوا رب هذا البلد الذي أطعمهم من جوع وآمنهم من خوف. This is the Black Pot, aka Kukushonamo Sadakallahu Azim. And my name, Black Rasta, au Mausobolisa, Adanuoto, Ewo Asikle Afo. Au Mausobolisa, Adanuoto, Ewo Asikle Afo. Ya Allah, Ya Allah, Ya Allah, subhanahu wa ta'ala. Blessed is the man that worketh not in the counsel of the heathen, nor sitteth in the seat that is scornful. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in this law does he dictate sunrise and sundown. Him I go there like a tree planted by the rivers of water that bringeth forth fruit in the season. Him leave never I go wither, and whatsoever him doeth shall prosper. Yea! The heathen them now, they saw them there like a chaff, which the wind driveth away. Therefore the heathen them never go turn upon judgment of the sin among them in the congregation of the righteous. For the Lord God Jah, love the way of the righteous and the way of the sin among them always and always. I go perish. Let the people of the Most High God say, Jah! Where two centuries meet in the name of the Most High Jah, so Jaja there. If Jaja never build up your house, the builder I go build it in vain. Same way. If Jaja never watch upon your house, the watchman I go watch it in vain. The name of the Lord is a strong tower, and the righteous run into it and them is safe. Many are the afflictions of the righteous, but Jah shall deliver him from all of them. And I give thanks and I say unto your name, King of Kings and Lord of Lords, the conquering Lion of the tribe of Judah. Amasa Yahuda, Amasa Negusto, Daniel, Kobaya Sataya. Aimana Pio Aya. Yasoa Pio. This is the Black Pot, aka Kukushonamo, where we speak truth to power. And my name, Black Rasta. Now, in every traditional African home, there is a black pot. If you don't have one in your area, it means you're not a complete African home. Now, that black pot represents the continent of Africa. Now, there are so many ingredients that go into the black pot, and they have different colors, different shapes, different sizes, different aromas and smells. But they put away all these differences, come together in the black pot, and produce nutritious food after going through some good eating. Same way, the continent of Africa, we are supposed to be the ingredients of this wonderful continent. We all are not of the same shapes and sizes, and even heights, and even skin tone. We must put away all these differences so we can be subjected to some sacrifice, the heating that the ingredients in the black pot go through, so we can produce not food, but development for our people, our continent, our land. We must be generational thinkers. We must be the people who think about planting the what? Tree. That we know for sure we will never enjoy the shade. It takes a generational thinker, a wise man, to plant a seed. And that seed is going to grow into a big one, tree, in about 30 years. Now this man is already about 80 years. He knows he will not live to see the next 30 years. But he plants it, not for his benefit, but the benefit of those who would come after him. Africa lacks this. We do not work in the interest of the next generation. The chiefs are thinking about how they will sell all the lands, blow away the money, and die and go. Our leaders are thinking about their pockets when they should be thinking about the brains of the next generation. They are not investing in the next generation. They are only investing in their pockets. When we behave like this, there is no way Africa is ever going to develop. There's no way our people would ever develop. My brother, my sister, the white man introduced us to corruption and wickedness. The white man was the one who came in here and enslaved us. The white man was the one who came into this country and treated us like nothing. We saw institutionalized corruption from the white man. Today, even the white man has decided to put away his old ways and embrace modernism and wisdom. We are still holding on to the wickedness the white man has taught us. We must break away from this if we want to make it. This is the Black Pot, aka Kukushunamo, where we speak truth to power. And my name, Blakk Rasta. Today we have a number of things we need to look at. The first one is this coming up. We are going to Morocco. Yes, Morocco. Soufane Boufal Apologizes to Africa. We all know about the Moroccan national team. This is the beautiful flag of the beautiful country called Morocco. We all remember the beautiful cities right there in Morocco. Rabat. We remember Fez and many more. We remember the history of Morocco. Strong history. We see Morocco as an African country, and we see Moroccans as African people. But there are a lot of Moroccans who do not see themselves as African people. When the OAU came, Organization of African Unity, many people refused not to be part of this. But upon talking and talking and talking, some decided to join the OAU. Morocco was one of the late countries to join. Algeria and some other North African countries. Partly because they are in North America. They see themselves closer to Europe than to Sub-Saharan Africa. Their skin color might not be as dark as the rest of the continent of Africa. So for that matter, they might have the tendency of believing that, listen, we are not European, we are not African. If anything at all, we are closer to Europe, so we are more European than African. When Kwame Nkrumah was ready to get married, he went all the way to Egypt and got married to an Egyptian woman. It wasn't all because of love. It was also because of the African unity. What a leader. Nkrumah decided that Sub-Saharan Africa without North Africa was totally incomplete, and we all needed to bring energies together. That was why he became the best friend of the great Egyptian president. My brother, my sister, now the World Cup came. All the African teams are gone. It's left with one African team, and that is Morocco. Africans are supporting Morocco, hoping that Morocco will be able to do something for Africa. Unfortunately, in their last two matches, there was controversy. The GFA of Morocco came out to tell the whole world that their victory was not for Africans. Many were those who said, well, he couldn't have said that. Others said it was fake news. And others also said, well, maybe he said something and he was misquoted. But my brother, my sister, today it looks like some finality is going to be brought to the issue. One of the gentlemen in the team, this is him, Soufane Boufal. He's one of the topmost players of the team. His mother came to the field, hugged him and kissed him. The mother is so happy. He was the guy who said, oh, this victory is for Muslims, is for Morocco and the Arab world. Ghana was not mentioned. Togo was not mentioned. Ivory Coast was not mentioned. In the same vein, all these countries were mentioned because there are Muslims in all these countries. But he cut away Christian Africans, cut away non-Muslim Africans. If you are not Muslim, you are not part of this win. If you are not from the Arab world, you are not part of this win. And if you are not Moroccan, forget it. But well, it made news all over the place. This was a political statement. Remember, we talked about this last week. In fact, the coach of the team himself came and called the bluff of all the people, the GFA and Soufane Boufal, and said, this victory is for Africa. We are playing for Africa, and we are representing Africa. CAF, Confederation of African Football. So why is this not for Africa? He spoke common sense, and he spoke patriotism and belongingness. Soufane Boufal went back, looked at it. Probably in his excitement, he was not able to see the gravity of what he was saying. I am glad that he has offered an apology. This is the apology. Come and let's see what is written there. Watch it. He says, I apologize for not mentioning the whole African continent yesterday at the interview. Thank you for being there for us. I dedicate this win to you too. We are so proud to represent all our brothers from this continent. Well, the feminist Africans would also come after him. He said, he's talking about Africans from the continent. Brothers from the African continent. How about the sisters? But we want to understand that brothers simply means all the people in that context. But my brother, let's look at this statement again. I need you to come along. Watch it. It says what? I apologize for not mentioning the whole African continent yesterday at the interview. Thank you for being there for us. I dedicate this win for you too. We are so proud to represent all our brothers from this continent. This is written in English. This man probably doesn't speak English well. This man speaks Arabic. If I am to look at this statement, it is still not enough to represent Africa. He says, listen to this thing. I apologize for not mentioning the whole African continent yesterday at the interview. He didn't give a reason. No reason. Number two, thank you for being there for us. Who are you? Well, leave that aside. I dedicate this win to you too. It looks like Africa is a different entity from the Moroccan team. I don't know how many people understand this. I don't want to drag this too long, but this is a show that is a Pan-Africanist show, and these things we are interested in that. He says he is dedicating this win to us too. Who are we? We are so proud to represent all our brothers from this continent. It doesn't sit well with me. This looks like a man who is trying to do damage control. But deep inside him, he doesn't still see himself as African. I don't know how you see it. But he comes across to me as a man who sees himself as Arab. Finished. He's not African. Like Gaddafi used to feel and see himself as. Later in life, he saw that he needed to represent a continent rather than a race. And when he was moving towards Africa with full speed, they cut him down. My brother, I do not know what you think and I do not know what you see concerning this apology. But this apology doesn't sound to me as inclusive. This apology doesn't come across to me as a genuine apology. What would I have seen as a genuine apology? Oh, yesterday in my excitement, when I was thanking everybody for being part of this great victory, I forgot to mention my own Africa. How could I have forgotten my own Africa? What is Morocco without Africa? Brothers and sisters, forgive me for making this mistake, but I didn't feel like we should congratulate ourselves. I just felt that we needed to thank those outside for supporting us. So who are those outside? The Arab world. The Arab world, my brother, my sister, it's not only about people who speak Arabic. It's a whole outfit on its own. The people in Palestine are not called Africans. Right? The people in Saudi Arabia are not called Africans. Right? So when you consider yourself African, you do not consider yourself as the part of the Arab world, do you? The fact that I speak English in Ghana does not make me British or English, does it? So if I'm talking about the English-speaking world, I do not have to consider Ghana or Sierra Leone. I don't know how many people are getting this. Until these people start giving allegiance to Africa and not the Arab world, they will continue to alienate themselves from Africa. Arab world, thank you. Because we don't see ourselves as Africans, we owe allegiance to the Arab world. Today, if Africans, God forbid, subhanallah, Africans are fighting Arabs, I'm telling you that Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia, which other one is there? Egypt, and a few more, including Sudan, might end up joining the Arab world against Africa. That is how divided we are. Hey, the bitter truth would have to be said by somebody, and that person is me. Some people forget the Arab world. Some people see themselves as belonging to the Muslim world more than to Africa. Hey, they belong to Islam, they belong to Christianity, and they see a fellow Muslim as a brother more than an African. If you are an African and you don't belong to his religion, you are not his brother. You are not his sister. True? These are all divisive tendencies against the people of Africa. I told you already. These are the bitter truths that have to be said. And these bitter truths would have to choose somebody as a vessel. And that vessel is me. I am a Muslim. I owe allegiance to Muslims. When I see a Muslim, I do not care what he is and who he is. If there's supposed to be a certain voting, I will vote for him because he's a Muslim. Even if he's a thief Muslim, I don't care. If he's a rapist Muslim, I don't care. He is a Muslim. How many Muslims would go for a rapist Muslim? The same Muslim is a thief. The same Muslim is a liar. The same Muslim does not even pray the 5 times prayers. But he says he's a Muslim. They will go for him than the best Christian who is not a rapist. He's not a thief. He doesn't lie. He goes to his church every time. And he's, in the eyes of the people, a good man. Once you are not a Muslim, forget it. And vice versa. Oh, this man is a Muslim. Even if he's the most studious Muslim, very upright and very good, he doesn't want you because you are not a Christian. He is going for the Christian who is a rapist, Christian who is a thief, Christian who is a persona non grata. You will go after that. How would the nation grow? How would the continent grow? That is what Soufane Boufal is preaching. And the Arab countries, so-called Arab countries, I don't want to call them Arab countries. I want to call them North African countries. They see themselves as Arabs and Arab countries. They behave as if they came from Saudi Arabia and they decided to sit inside here. So they are an Arab nation extended. Hey, go and see how many black people are in America. We don't still call it a black land, do we? Go to Spain and see the number of black people in there. At a point, black people even colonized Spain, the Moors. But we don't still call it a black country because it's not a black country. This is no racial teaching. It's not a racist teaching. It is for us to focus. Africa is Africa. If you agree that, if you are on the continent of Africa, Nkrumah said something. I wish I could find you that quote. But paraphrase, he said, I am not an African because I was born in Africa. I am an African because Africa was born in me. Jesus have mercy. Come! I am not an African because I was born in Africa. I am an African because Africa was born in me. It means just being born in Africa makes you Africa, yes, but it is not enough for you to carry the diadem of Africa. What is in your DNA? Are you black outside and white inside, or yellow or green inside? Africa, we have a long way to go. We need to be able to teach our people and let our people understand what it is to be African. Or else, every other race is going to have his interest in Africa. Today, when the Arab world comes, oh, okay, these are our brothers, North African countries. That's it. I am not African because I was born in Africa, but Africa was born in me. Nkrumah. If the Arabs come in, Saudi Arabia, Palestine, and I've been to Palestine. I mean, the Palestinian president is my friend. He calls me and I call him, we talk. I love Palestine. I love Saudi Arabia, Syria, Jordan. When I'm there, I feel good and I'm happy. But listen, the Almighty God decided to put us in different areas so that there will be that kind of thing called division of labor. If you are in Africa and you are supposed to be pushing the African cause, one leg is in Africa and one is in the Arab world, like those who hold the dual citizenships. It's like you play for a team and you score own goals. Yes, you have scored. Your name will go into the scoring list. Yes, you can be the number one scorer, the goal king, but all the goals were scored against your own people. What's your use? I do not want to spend too much time on this. Soufane Boufal, with all love and respect to the Moroccan embassy that wasn't happy with what I said, this is reality. It is true. Go to Sudan today. A lot of Sudanese people don't see themselves as Africans. They see themselves as Arabs. They speak more Arabic than anything. Yes. It's sad. I don't know who did this to us. The so-called Francophone. Look at the atrocities they have. Oh my God. They've gone through atrocities. from France. The so-called Anglophone. Atrocities from England. Yet we still owe allegiance to France and England respectively. To God be the glory. My brother, my sister, Soufane Boufal and the GFA that has not apologized yet. Moroccan GFA. Even though the apology of Soufane Boufal leaves much to be desired, it's still an apology. It's still an apology. Until we put our acts right and put our house in order, nobody will be proud to be called an African. To God be the glory. Next. Look at what is on your screen. Some part of it was eaten up by cockroaches, but now it has come out good. Ghana Cedi scores points against dollar. The Cedi was the worst performer against the dollar. Right now, it's beginning to show some strength and energy. That is the Ghana Cedi. It looks like Indian currency, but that is Ghana Cedi. It's Indians that love these colors. Yes, the brown and pink and that kind of thing. Yes, that's the Ghana Cedi. The Ghana Cedi against the dollar. Right now, the Cedi is coming up. The dollar is going down. Petrol prices are beginning to come down a little bit. And for this, we have to jubilate and celebrate. When the Cedi was going down, we came out full-fledged. Petrol prices going up, full-fledged. This incompetent man, we gave him a lot of fire. He is not resigning because they know when they resign, the cobwebs that they supposedly, allegedly have been hiding will be exposed. Right now, they say that the Ghana Cedi is scoring some political points. Ghana Cedi from worst to best performer against dollar. Let's see what it is. What does it say? Come! Ghana Cedi has been tagged by Bloomberg as the best performing currency against the US dollar this week. After being compared to some 150 currencies across the globe, the Cedi emerged as the best performing currency against the dollar this week for the past 5 days. Exchange rate, this week's outlook. And when you see it from December 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, all the way, you will see it from 14, came all the way to 13 point blah, 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 now 12.90 as against the US dollar. It means it's gaining grounds, right? The currency, having lost more than 50% of its value in the course of the year, gained 10% against the greenback. The Cedi to dollar exchange rate was as high as $1 to more than 15 Ghana cedis this year, but currently trades a little above 12.50 to the dollar. About 3 months ago, Ghana's currency was labeled as the worst performer against the USD, relieving the Sri Lankan rupee of this unenviable position. The Cedi's untamed slump. I like this writer. Oh my God. I think it's called Isaac something. My God. Bring the headline. Bring me the headline. Yes, it's called Isaac Kofi. I like your writing. Go back to the story. Watch it. About 3 months ago, Ghana's currency was labeled as the worst performer against the USD, relieving the Sri Lankan rupee of this unenviable position. The Cedi's untamed slump against the USD put Ghana's economy in a fallen position, with the country's long-term bonds suffering at least 7 downgrades from 3 international rating agencies in less than 11 months this year. 2022, Cedi's cumulative depreciation against the USD. Look how it depreciated all the way like, I don't know, if you draw, you would have a semicircle lying down there like a tray. Next slide. The Minister of Finance, Ken Ofori-Atta, disclosed in the 2023 budget statement that Ghana's public debt scaled up by 93 billion Ghana cedis. That's about 7.2 billion US dollars at current interbank rate due to depreciation of the Ghana cedi in less than 11 months this year. On the 4th of December 2022, the government officially announced a debt operation exercise called Domestic Debt Exchange, which outlined the nature of debt restructuring for domestic creditors. This is to pave the way for the much anticipated 3 billion IMF bailout package. Dash it away. Dash. So the cedi is beginning to gain prominence over the dollar. In fact, it's just catching up. The cedi is playing catching up. 1 Ghana cedi at a time was equivalent to $1. We fell all the way to an all-time slump to 15 Ghana cedis to $1. Why? After redenomination, with all the gold and the diamond and the oil, small country like this is still unmanageable. And this is what I fail to understand. Corruption is responsible for a huge chunk of our economic slump. And yet our leaders are still dumb to the core. A lot of them, my brother, my sister, don't think beyond stealing. They are masters in kleptomania. See, right? Masters in kleptocracy. That's the word. They are kleptomaniacs. They are the founders of kleptocracy. Stealing. And so our nation is not respected. Everybody wants to run away from Africa. Because in Africa, we don't seem to have anything good. When you watch the news, real, it's all about poverty, hunger, stealing, murder, bloodshed, and so on and so forth. There's no day you would watch Africa in the news and see that Africans have gone to the moon and then they just arrived with a car that uses only air. There's no day you would watch the news real. Say, oh, in Africa now, people are traveling via submarines from one joint to the other. From Ghana to Nigeria is only a 10-minute submarine drive. No. It's about how Ghana is begging IMF to come and give them 3 billion. The private sector has totally lost interest in the economy. Nobody is ready to spend in the course of the nation. Why? I could talk on and on and on and on. This is our nation and we need to make it better. It starts with you. What is the way out? Are we just talking or we give solutions too? Patriotism. Just like Dan Latte said, domestication. Blakk RASTA says patriotism. Blakk RASTA, if you ever become president, what would you do? Come for the answer. I will rewire the minds of the people, the attitudes, the mindset. This is the powerhouse of every human being. So if human beings are programmed to think that they are not capable, if they are brainwashed and they always see the white man as the leader, without him nothing can happen. If they are brainwashed to thinking that nothing productive would ever happen without the white man, if they are brainwashed and programmed to think that yes, they have to sit down for the white man to come and do for them what they can do for themselves, I will rewire the thinking. How would I do it? The same way that I'm doing it right now. Yesterday, I was in Tamale and I was shocked at the number of youth who came up to me and said, we watch you in the Blackboard. right from the entry point. I was in the Volta region the other day, overwhelming. Chiefs wanted to meet with me, all because of these things. It means the message is sinking. People's minds are being changed. I have talked to policemen who have told me that they stopped taking bribe on the street, all because of some of these teachings. Why? So their superiors and their training did not teach them not to take bribe, or they did some backsliding. Because when a Christian falls away from the norms and culture, we say they are backsliding, right? Did the police backslide? Anywhere I go, I see the youth come up to me and say, listen, the Blakk pot, little children. A gentleman called me just yesterday, and God is my witness. He told me, my 2-year-old daughter is always shouting. If you say Blakk pot, then she will shout, Kukushu! 2-year-old. 2-year-old, my brethren. 2-year-old. If a 2-year-old is today shouting Kukushu, by the time she would get to 5, she will become the epitome of patriotism. Don't underestimate what you can do in your own small way. At this juncture, I want to thank all the people who pick our stream. Loud Silence TV, thank you so much, Kevin Taylor. Pan-African TV, we appreciate you and we love you, masters of Pan-Africanism. That's us. Comrade Kwesi Pratt Jr., Ghana Web, Ismail, thank you so much. The message is sinking. We shall not relent. Ghanaians and the whole of Africa, they have come to see that we don't do politics. Drop it. We don't do politics.
Go on, Skipper George.
Blakk pot, Kukushu.
Did you see that? No politics. What we do here is called patriotism. We don't deal with politicians unless they are ready to be patriotic. We are not paid by any politician. MashaAllah, we'll be so ashamed if we ever did. We are independent. To God be the glory. When we return, we have more stories to look at. Wayo! This is the Blakk pot, aka Kukushu, where we speak truth to power. Strength is not all about what you can do. It's about overcoming what you thought you couldn't do. Of course, I can lift a cup of water in my hand. That is not the issue. But can I build a house in 2 days? No, I can't. Then I go into it. I master the courage and the energy and I build it. That is strength. To God be the glory. This is the Blakk pot, aka Kukushunamo, where we speak truth to power. Remember, here we don't do politics. What we do is called patriotism. Do business with us. It's very bitter, the truth. The truth is so bitter. My grandfather would always tell me, any medicine that does not come bitter cannot heal anything. If you take medicine that is sweet, then you are taking a soft drink. Medicine must be bitter. The truth is bitter, that's why it heals. But a lot of people stay away from bitterness. That is why we need you to do business with us. Pick up our number on the screen. What are you advertising? Is it a soap? Is it a natural drink? What really are you advertising? Let us advertise that. Let's talk about it. What is your budget? The more you advertise with us, the more you give us the financial muscle to be able to garner on and do things. Remember, this broadcast is seen live on Pan-African TV. It's seen live on Loud Silence TV. Seen live on Ghana Web TV. Now, the interesting thing about our broadcast is this. We are also on social media. Follow us on our social media pages, our handles, on all of them, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. Blakk Empire Media. Blakk Empire Media. That's us. Well, my name is Blakk RASTA, and this is me speaking truth to power. Next thing, watch it as it rolls. What does it say? Free SHS, useless without jobs. That's not me saying that. I could never say this. Free SHS, useless without jobs. Okay, this is the man saying that. He looks like the trades union man. That's him. What is the point of free SHS if graduates cannot secure jobs? And that's the Trades Union Congress. Let's read. The Trades Union Congress, TUC, has given the government a 1-week ultimatum to exempt pensions from the debt restructuring program, else it will advise itself. At a press conference in Accra today, General Secretary of the TUC, Dr. Yao Ban, said that the debt restructuring program in its current form will impoverish workers. At a press conference in Accra today, General Secretary of the TUC, Dr. Yao Ban, said the debt restructuring program in its current form would impoverish workers, and that's an emphasis. How? The TUC has also kicked against the government's decision to freeze public sector employment. This is the last thing I'm going to look at. It says what? What is the point of free SHS if graduates cannot secure jobs? Dr. Ban said, leave it there like that. Listen, he said 3 different things. But the headline is this. Number 1, the debt restructuring program as it stands right now will impoverish Ghanaian workers. Number 2, he talked about the fact that pensions, if they are subjected to the same debt restructuring program, will worry a lot of Ghanaian pensioners. So they are giving the government a 1-week ultimatum, right? 1 week. Am I right? 1 week. 1 week ultimatum. But they left all this and they decided to bring this because this is the meat of the whole thing. My brother, what is free SHS? Go to school for free. Forget about the fact that it is low quality. This government only used it to be able to score some political points. It's a mediocre thing. But in essence, it is very, very wise. Nkrumah made people go to school for free. In so many countries around the world, citizens go to school for free. It is very important. Free SHS, not in its current form now, is one of the best things that the government could have thought of. Thumbs up. The implementation has been poor and bad. what this man here is saying is that, and he's a doctor, PhD holder. He says, what is the point of free SHS if graduates cannot secure jobs? Do you go to school only to come and get jobs? Why? Is school for jobs alone? And who should provide the jobs? Should it always be the government? Oh, Dr. Ba, don't do that. Don't do that. Jobs are very important. But that is not the prime reason people have to be educated. It's to gain knowledge. My brother, you can gain knowledge and sit down. The ideas that you even give out of your knowledge can change a whole nation, yet you have no job. Next question is, how do you eat? Eating is good. People have to eat. But the primary concern or the primary achievement of education is not to eat. If it's all about eating, then we don't need to go to school. Let's go to the farms. Let's go to the market and work. To go to school is first and foremost for knowledge. Dr. Ban, please do not demean your PhD, with all respect. Why do you talk like this? Why do you talk like this? Yes, Nana Addo is a hopeless president. Yes, I understand. Finance minister is a very, very hopeless, inefficacious finance minister. I understand. But be careful when you throw and fling some things like this. What is the point of free SHS if graduates cannot secure a job? They can secure wisdom. It's enough job. Don't let us look down on that. I prefer a man going out there and gaining knowledge and giving the knowledge to people without a job, a paying job, to a man who makes all the money without knowledge. Somebody would understand. I'm coming again. I'm coming. I'm coming. I said I'm coming. I prefer a man who has got knowledge, gone to gain knowledge, and is sitting, doing nothing, but just giving the knowledge to other people. Because knowledge acquired, if it is not utilized, like giving out, teaching other people, then it is useless knowledge. The fact that you have acquired the knowledge and you are giving it out might not be a job. Nobody might pay you for that. Like my great-grandfather in the village, who acquired a lot of knowledge, and he sat under the baobab, and we all came and he gave us knowledge, free knowledge. He was not paid to do that. That is the primary reason for education. The Prophet Muhammad said what? If I had my own way, I would ask every Muslim to go all the way to China, to the end of the world, to acquire knowledge. Should I say it again? Prophet Muhammad was stark illiterate. Stark illiterate. He couldn't read. Neither could he read. When the angel of God, according to Islamic history, came to him and said, Ikra! He told him, read. He told him, I cannot read. Ikra! I said, read. He said, I cannot read. He said, in the name of God who created you, out of a single clot of blood, read. Prophet Muhammad was almost like saying that, being illiterate is so painful. You know what he did? Everything that he heard from the angels, in fact, from the angels that came to him, Gabriel, to be very specific, he had to go and look for somebody who could write and talk to the person. People who could even memorize. My brother, my sister, I'm going to cut it off now. Free SHS is not about jobs. Or else we would have closed all the free SHS and we'll send them to the market to learn how to sell tomatoes and oranges if it was for jobs. It's for knowledge. Dash it and come! To all 909 people who died in Jonestown in Guyana, I went there and I saw it. You could still smell the blood of black people and all the wonderful people who were killed there. Jim Jones, who was born James Warren Jones in 1931, May, 12th May, 1931, and he died in 1978. Carried black people all the way from America to Guyana in the name of Christianity, which I prefer to call a cult, because he was a cult leader, not a Christian leader. Killed all of them, gave them poison, and when they were dying, the children, babies, mommy, my stomach, mommy, he said, die. Death is a friend. Die. The men were groaning, women, he said, oh, just die. Come. Die. Die. In the African history class, we'll look at this into detail. In the interim, let's take our last subject and we are done. What are we looking at? Abukari Damba fingered in METEORS bribery. You know the black METEORS, right? This Abukari Damba. When I was growing up, he was the only goalkeeper I knew, the best goalkeeper in the world. As a little child, I would run to the RTU Park, Real Tamale United, and he would be doing wonders. I'm surprised he's wearing a phobia jersey. Well, at a point he left RTU and played for some other. One of the best goalkeepers Ghana has ever had. Up till now, I believe this is the goalkeeper, the best goalkeeper in the whole world. This guy. Just because we underrate ourselves and we wait for the white man to endorse us before we hold that. This is better than all the goalkeepers you have seen in the world. I don't even know their names. I only know 4 goalkeepers. Adams Kwarase, Atizigi, the other one, Robert Mensah. Robert Mensah was also there. Yes. Oh, Kingston is also there. And then there's another one. What's his name? He was the Black Stars goalkeeper. He used to wear these, long trousers and all that. Robert something. Okay, well, I'll try and remember it another time. These guys all don't know football. All right. My brother, my sister, look at the story. Ghana players were bribed to lose game in 2007. And this is Obed Ansah speaking. That's him. Phobia. And when they want to tease them, especially when they lose, they make the phobia long. Phobrim. Which means they are falling down. Former Hearts of Oak midfielder Obed Ansah has opened up on how many players of the Black METEORS were bribed to lose a friendly match against Iran, not Iran, Iran in 2007. Obedansa disclosed that he never took the bribe because the monies were shared whilst he was bathing. He noted that oh God have mercy. Oh, Razi. Hey, he never took the bribe because the monies were shared whilst he was bathing. He noted that some players spent the money on buying new phones, which got the attention of some GFA, that's Ghana Football Association officials. It was later on that Skido of Liberty told me it was because of this reason Damba was calling me. But unfortunately, I was bathing. I didn't know he was calling me to come and give me money. Damba was our goalkeeper's trainer by then. So the money was $1,000, but people were giving 500. It means Damba pocketed the rest. What even surprised me was that there was the latest phone we all wanted to buy after we've been given our per diem. So I didn't understand. It was later when the issue unfolded that I got to know that they used the bribe money to buy the phones which were being sold at the hotel's reception. Obed Answer stated, according to reports, some Black METEORS players were allegedly offered $1,000 to lose their match against Iran by 2-0. Obed Answer, who was one of the players in the camp, recalled in an interview with Dan Kwekuyabo that an emergency meeting was called when the issue went viral in camp. According to him, he called to know about the bribe when some players were singled out. We were in the camp when an emergency meeting was called by Randy Abbey. And I remember sitting in front. I got to know about the bribe at the meeting when people who took money from Damba were asked to raise their hands. Or better, someone stated, look at this part, is the most interesting part. I was just sitting in front when Saba started counting. 1, 2, 3. So I just turned. To my surprise, I was shocked because I never knew about the bribe. He's added, Damba was later suspended by the GFA as the Black METEORS lost the match by 4-2. This is Damba. My brother, my sister, there was a time Damba was also fingered in another controversy like that. Same bribe issue. Is it true that my brother from the RTU is corrupt? Did he steal the money? I don't want to believe that Obed Ansah is saying this because he couldn't buy the expensive phone at that time, because he couldn't get the bribe money. I don't want to say that he brought this story out because he couldn't get the bribe money. If he had had the money, would he say it? Just like the Ghanaians who went to Qatar. When they saw the Japanese people picking up trash, they also did. It was so nice. But the day Ghana lost, they left the stadium without even thinking about anybody. That's not how it's done. You should be a good loser. Damba, it's time for you to come out and speak. Did you take the bribe? Did you not take the bribe? This, we need you to come out and talk. It's the Black Pot, aka Kukushonamo, where we speak truth to power. My name, Blakk RASTA. When we return, we shall have more. But remember, Africa, patriotism, no politics, generational thinking, refuse every bribe, refuse every corrupt act. They might despise you and insult you, but nobody has ever stayed away from bribery and regretted. Stayed away from corruption and regretted. It is a thing to do. Right! Wayo!